Shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone rule well. And salutation to the hopeful elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word and pushing the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai in truth and in sincerity. This is Ira from Great Millstone, Wisconsin, coming at you with another lesson. Now, I haven't figured out what the title of this lesson is going to be, but the inspiration for this lesson comes from Elder Bishop Manatazak. And there was a video that he recently did today on his channel, Jacob Barak 2, titled, it was titled, You Have to Change Your Mentality. And through that, watching that lesson, this lesson was born. And this lesson is pretty much going to go into, with changing our mentality, should come the hatred and the anger for this world and for this menial existence we call society. Having to change the way we eat, change our sleep patterns, watch the type of information we consume, just everything about this place screams anti-Mashiach, which is anti-Messiah, what the world calls Antichrist, which is against Yahweh himself, and just doing these things day in and day out is is redundant, doing these things day in and day out, takes real discipline, it takes real if I'm saying this right, mundanity, because we constantly have to watch ourselves in this world so we can, constantly grow in the spirit and get close to the Lord, because this world is evil, and the more wisdom that we gain into figuring out, the poisoning of the food, the poisoning of the air, the devices that were built to break ourselves physically and spiritually and emotionally, the more grievous that, this world is going to become, which is a good thing. We are to hate this place and to use that hatred and that anger for Esau, the other nations in this world, as fuel to make ourselves closer to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. I'm going to jump right into it. This is Ecclesiastes 1:17. It says, "And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief." So the more you the more you start to understand about this current evil world, the more grieved you're going to be. The more sad and angry and, pissed off you're going to get. It says, "And he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow." Right? Because now you look around the state of your people and you understand why Jake acts the way they act, why 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed, as it says in Zechariah chapter 3, verse 8, So you're starting to see that now our lives are starting to revolve around Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and fixing our mentalities, fixing our spirits and nourishing our bodies the correct way, But come to find out, with much wisdom is much grief, is that even trying to nourish your body the right way, you're still not getting the right nutrients in your body, even when you change your diet, and dieting is paramount, to switching up, your food balances, having balanced meals, fasting, these are things that we have to do in order to maintain our bodies, and we have to strive even harder now because of all of the nutrients being pulled out of the food. All the chemicals in the air and in the water, we have to watch what we put into our spirit and our brains, what kind of information we consume, and this increases sorrow because now you look into the world and you say, damn, Jake don't stand a fucking chance. If it wasn't for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the elect, wouldn't be able to be the elect, And learning this, you start to really hate life. You really start to hate this present world. This is Ecclesiastes 2:17. It says, "Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me. For all is vanity and vexation of spirit." So everything under the sun right now is vanity and vexation because it has nothing to do with the Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know, everything in the society is against the Lord. Everyone is against the Lord. You know, and the only ones that are for the Lord are the Lord's elect, hopeful elect. You know, excuse me. You know, and we are looked at in the eyes of the rest of the world as fools. You know, the wise are regarded as the fools in the society, which is totally ass backwards. You know, and we all die the same. You know, we seem to die as the foolish men. You know, won't be remembered. You know, but we'll be remembered by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know, so when we look at all these things in the world, we start to really hate life. You know, and let me go into this word hate just really quick. I believe the word is okay, from the Hebrew shanayah, which says to hate, be hateful of man. You know, not of the Most High, of man. Hater, one hating, enemy. You know, to be hated of persons, nations, you know, power, wisdom, you know, because we're not to hate the Most High, but we're to hate everything in this world that has nothing to do with the Most High, you know. So it says, therefore I hate a life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me, for all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yeah, none of these things under the earth really matter except for doing the work of the Lord, man, you know. And it's very vexing, you know. Now going back into the food situation, you know, looking at how our food is contaminated, you know, and how we really can't nurture our bodies the way that we want to. Now we do these things, we diet, we eat healthy, you know, we find healthy oils to cook with, healthy sugars, you know, healthy carbs, you know, vitamins and minerals and supplements and things of that nature, you know. But then the thing is, we shouldn't even have to take vitamins and minerals, you know, and supplements, you know, supplement our protein values and things like that, if the nutrition was in the food the correct way. But Esau has destroyed everything, you know, and that should propel us even further towards Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in the kingdom of heaven. You know, this is Ezekiel 4:13. It says, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them, you know. And that bread represents your food, you know, your meat, you know. So it says it will be defiled amongst the Gentiles wherever we go, you know. So everything in this world that we put into our bodies is polluted, and that should vex you, you know. We shouldn't have to stress over what we put in our bodies, but because we live in this present evil world created by Esau and the other nations, man, you know, that's been crafted after evil and after Satan himself, we have to deal with these things, man. You know, we have to worry about even when we eat something in it, and you know, is it actually following the dietary laws? You know, we might eat something and think it's beef or chicken, you know, and next thing you know, there's pork in it, you know, or there's shellfish in it, you know. So we have to scrutinize everything that we pretty much do in a society, man. And yes, it becomes very tedious, you know. But guess what? We have to do this. These are the things that we have to do in order to sustain our lives in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you know. So this is Romans chapter 7, verse 23. It says, you know, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, you know. So not only do you have things that are defiled in this place, such as our food, you know, such as different medicines and things that we have to take, you know, we also have to watch the way that we conduct ourselves, you know, and and think to ourselves, damn, am I doing this willingly? Am I willingly putting excess sugar in my body? Am I willingly putting excess fat, saturated fat and trans fat in my body? Or, you know, am I willingly going off here? Am I willingly going off there? You know, because most of the time, you know, that we go off, it's without actually knowing, you know. And then you have, you know, the times that we go off, you know, sometimes even intentionally, you know. So our flesh, which loves this present world, is warned against our minds and our spirits, you know. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second, Salaki. So it's warring against our mind and our spirits, man. And that's the fight between life and death, man. You know, when you go into Jude, the first chapter in the 6th verse, it tells you about the chains of darkness. And we are in these chains of darkness right now. You know, it says, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members, you know. So this is basically what Paul is saying is that I go off, you know, or even he goes off and not willingly wanting to go off, man, you know, but we are in these chains of the flesh, you know. That's why when you read Second Corinthians, the 5th chapter, you know, it goes into Paul groaning, you know, because he knows he has a heavenly tabernacle in heaven, man, and he longs to be with the Lord. Because to be honest with you, we are tired of this shit, you know, tired of living in these shitty bodies, in the shitty world, living this shitty existence, you know, and we can't even be ourselves in the Lord here, you know. So we hasten the day of Yahushua return, man, you know. Verse 24, it says, "O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death?" See? You know, and Yahushua shall deliver us from the body of this death. Pursuing the 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter and the 40th verse on down. You know, we will conquer death through Yahushua, man. We will conquer this flesh through Yahushua. You know, and that's what, we are not attempting. This is what we are currently doing now. You know, it says, "I thank the Most High through Yahushua Mashiach our Lord. So then, with the mind, I myself serve the law of the Most High," right? You know, but with the flesh, the law of sin, you know. So with our minds, we serve the Lord, but with our flesh, the flesh wants to serve sin, wants to serve Satan, you know. So we have to constantly fight against ourselves. One thing that Apostle Gabar always says, and that Elder Bishop Menatazat, he echoed, you know, he mimicked through the Spirit earlier, man. It's you versus you. You're your own worst enemy, man. You know, it's and that's what this scripture right here in Romans 7 is describing, man. You know, the fight against with you versus you, man. You know, the spirit versus your flesh. You know, this is Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. It says, "Mortify therefore your members." You know, and let's go into this word mortify. Now, this is also where you get the word mortgage from, which means death, you know. So we go into the word mortify in the Greek.
Strong's G 3499, nekrao.
And it says to make dead, to put to death, slay, to deprive of power, destroy the strength of, deaden, subdue. You know, so we are to subdue our flesh, man. We are to put our flesh to death, you know. And we can only do that by getting closer and closer to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. That means we have to give attending to reading, you know. We have to be putting up our shows. We have to be praying. We have to be fasting, you know. Now more than ever, you know. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 tells you to pray without ceasing, you know. Going back to Colossians 3:5 says, "Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth." See, the flesh minds the things upon the earth, man. And these are the things that the flesh minds, which these are demons, man. You know, it says fornication, you know, which, you know, you have two types of fornication. You have uncleanness through committing adultery. And then you have uncleanness through worshiping idols, you know, spiritual fornication, you know, which both versions of fornication are of the flesh, man. It says uncleanness, you know, you can take this you can go any way you want with this. You can go into the dietary laws, you know, you can go into, you know, pretty much any law, you know. It says inordinate affection, you know, which is another occasion of the flesh, which is, you know, moism, you know, bestiality, you know, things that are unseemly, evil concupiscence, you know, meaning evil desires, illicit desires and thoughts, because you even have to fight our own thoughts. How do you think, Jake ends up going off, because they're fighting their own thoughts. And sometimes, 2/3 of a Jake won't be able to fight their own thoughts because they don't have the spirit of the Lord, man, and covetousness, being jealous and wanting to covet what other men have, man, which goes into stealing, Scriptures tell you that there is nothing more wicked than a covetous man, It says, which is idolatry, right? Because you start to worship. What you covet. You start to worship, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and cleanness and fornication. You got Jake right now make songs about committing fornication, man. Like it's another day at the office, man. It says, for which things sake the wrath of the Most High cometh on the children of disobedience. And these are the things that are going to get you destroyed. That's why it is paramount to mortify your members, man. It says, in the which ye also walked sometime. See, before we had Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, before he woke us up, and enlightened us to his spirit, man, his Ruach HaKodesh, we were walked in these same things when ye lived in them. But now ye also put off all these, right? And these are more demons. Anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth, which goes into your communication in the Lord, man. Idolatry and all these different things, man. These are things that 2/3 of our people relish in, It says, lie not one to another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds. And that's what we are in the process of doing, man. Shaving off the old man. It says, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge. Right. That same knowledge going back to Ecclesiastes 1:18, man. That same knowledge that increases sorrow, that same wisdom that gives much grief, It says, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him, which the image of him is Yahushai, man. This is what we were supposed to be seeking after, the image of Yahushai, not the image of the world, which goes from, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, all the way down to anger, wrath, and malice, and filthy communication, These are attributes of the old nigga, But the Lord is giving us new attributes of the Ruach HaKodesh, man, the Holy Spirit, And as the Lord is giving us these things, and as our hatred and our anger for the truth, not hatred, anger for the truth, Salakia, slip of the tongue. Our anger and hatred for the world, should make us strive for the truth, This is Sirach, chapter 4, verse 28, It says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, So the more and more you hate this world, the more you're propelled to strive for the truth, until your dying breath, man, because this world has nothing for you, And we know, as we know through reading the scriptures, that as long as we strive for the truth unto death, we will reap our reward, which is the kingdom of heaven, It says, strive not for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, And when the Lord fights for you, what is he going to do, man? He's going to put down everything in his path that's wicked and that's against him, and that's against his elect, man. Scriptures tell you that the Lord shall surely avenge his elect, And this is the part of this avenging here in Revelation 12 chapter, man. This is Revelation 12:10. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation. See? So we strive for the truth unto death, we will reap salvation, man. It says, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of the Most High and the power of his anointed. For the accuser, which is Esau, Edom, of our brethren is cast down. So, and with Esau, Edom being cast down, guess what else is cast down? This filthy, evil, shitty present world, man. Which binds our members into wanting to commit sin. It says, which accused them before our power day and night, right? Because they had Israel in a quagmire, man. In a trap, in the straits, in the gin, you know. But guess what? The elect is going to overcome. It says, and they overcame, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. And that they is the elect, man, you know. And the blood of the Lamb is Yahweh Shai, you know, the blood that he spilt to redeem us, you know, from the curse of the law, you know. It says, and by the word of their testimony, you know. And this is the testimony here, you know, us doing these studio shows and going on the highways and byways and crying and sighing and crying for the abominations done in the midst thereof. And they love not their lives unto death, you know, and that's the point. That's the reason why the elect was able to get so far as to reach in the kingdom of heaven, because they love not their lives unto death, you know. So they weren't caught in this present world, man, and all the demon I want to say the demonology, but you know, all of the evil in the demonic, there we go, in the demonic activity that the world has to offer, man, you know. And instead of loving this world, they hated this world, man. They hated their lives, man, and they love Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you know. I'll read this again. It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, which they loved not their lives unto the death, you know. And that is how they were able to, you know, reap salvation, strength in the kingdom of the Most High, man, you know, and the power of the anointed, you know. So with that, you know, I hope, you know, you Akim Akwath edified in the power and spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You know, I want to give all praises, call Allah Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone who rule well, and salutations to the hopeful elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word and pushing the name of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai in truth and in sincerity. Shalom, Abba Babal.